So if you were on the moon and you took a rope and it was so long that it went all the way to the what are you doing? Are you upset?
No, I had to burp, but I was
okay. I thought you were just like you were tuning out.
I had pizza like
I had a really important question and it looked like you were just like, God.
No.
Okay, so you're on the moon.
Long
you can
rope.
breathe. You have a rope that's millions of miles long. It's infinite. It's an infinite rope. No, it's millions of miles long. You take the rope and you stretch it all the way down. You attach a robot. It goes all the way down to Earth, and then I grab it. Mm-hmm. Can you pull me up to the moon?
Can you breathe?
Sure. We both have spacesuits on.
Oh, okay. I mean, maybe.
Do you think I could pull you, because the moon gravity is weird, I could pull you down to the Earth?
How does like the Earth's atmosphere work in this scenario?
Do you think...
Tyler, what do you think?
Oh, hello, Tyler.
Hi.
It is Tyler
Hello.
on the podcast. Welcome to the Arcane Lounge Podcast, everybody. Today our guest is Tyler. Tyler, why don't you do us a solid favor here? Why don't you introduce yourself to Arthur Morgan? I don't know why I decided to do this voice right now. I just kind of fell into it. I can't get out.
Yeah. So I am Tyler Lovejoy. I appear on the channel a few times, XP Level 3, Arcane. I am the DM for the Adventures of Avnia campaign, players in quite a few of the other campaigns. I am around. I'm on some of the social media. I work with
We've known Tyler.
Patreon,
I've known Tyler for like the longest. I
Yeah.
think Tyler's my oldest friend. I've known him the longest, since we were freshmen in high school.
Well, that's when we
And a
became
little
friends,
bit
but
even before that.
We met before that, technically. We met in
Because
like,
our parents knew each other.
yeah, in middle school, technically. So
Yeah, but we weren't really friends. I just
no,
kinda
we
knew you.
we became friends freshmen. Yeah, so
My dad was always like, "That's the Lovejoy," and I'm like, "Okay." Am I supposed to know who they are?
how long is that now? It's about a decade now, I think.
Yeah, I've known you for 8 years.
Yeah,
now,
and
almost.
so that'd be 2 years later.
Yeah.
So it'll be a decade.
Really? It's been that long?
Yeah,
It's been a long time.
We will have been together for 8 years in October.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Tyler and I met when I was like 13 and he was like 14. So,
Yep.
so we've been together for a little while. So, yeah. We're basically super cool and have a lot of inside jokes.
Yeah,
And if you
we're
don't
awesome.
understand any of them, then that's your
Yeah.
fault. But glad to finally have you on.
Yeah.
I didn't want to have you on because I just didn't feel like it. So basically,
Yeah, I'm kind of a boring person. There's more important
I
people.
really wanted to get way more interesting people on first, and then get you on so that it could kind of weed itself out, and then everybody would be like, "Fine, I'll watch the Tyler episode."
Yeah, who cares about the Tyler episode? You can
See,
just
this
skip
also
You
comes
just
with
stop
being
now
friends
and
for like
turn it
10
off.
years
I was
long.
going to say your longest lifelong friend.
Yeah,
and you're
this
like,
also comes with being friends for like 10 years long. It's
Yeah.
just, we just don't even like each other anymore. We just hate each other constantly. No, that's a joke.
Yeah.
So that's a history lesson between us and Tyler.
do we want to
So,
throw
yeah.
up? Do we want to throw up like a freshman year, both of you? Like
No, I am not doing that. No, God,
Same.
no. Oh, fuck.
a haircut?
Christ.
Oh gosh.
No, never.
I don't think I've seen.
I won't do it.
I don't think
will
I've
not
seen
destroy
freshman year
Okay, to
Tyler.
be honest, Tyler doesn't really look much different. Tyler's one of those people that kind of like generally still looks the same, if not a little older.
Yeah.
Me, on the other hand,
You looked weird.
oh my lord, I would scar people. They'd be like,
Yeah.
"Is that
Can we get
Justin
can we get
Bieber?"
the-
But also 13 and annoying.
Can we get the cosplay that you did of Doctor Who?
Oh, okay. I don't like this
You're
conversation.
like were you a freshman
like
or you
this
sophomore?
one.
I have some.
I always think of from that time period the picture, which is even worse than that. I feel like is one of your costumes one of the theater productions you were a part of.
Okay, there's one where I look really hot.
When you're the-
okay,
when you're
there's
the-
one I look fucking great.
The eel.
That's the one I'm thinking. That's the one I'm thinking of.
Fucking god damn it, guys! You could have picked any of them, and you picked the eel. The one
Yeah,
that
that's the one I always think
literally
of.
like. I'm not. It's not No, it's spandex.
It's
It's
like
like full body
spandex and
black
like
spandex
and like a bolo hat or something.
and a bowler hat.
Did they give you like a little little mustache.
I was in a
good
theater
tea, I think?
production, a children's theater production as a child.
As a 12-year-old boy.
The Little Mermaid.
Yeah.
But it was my dad directed it, but it wasn't the Disney Little Mermaid. It was the real Little Mermaid, and the only difference is that she turns into sea foam at the end. That's the big plot twist. Is she just dies? So all the kids were like, "Yay!" Oh! So that and I played the eel, and not the eels. You know the eels in the Disney movie. No, I am an eel,
And super creepy.
and he's like I don't even remember, but like I know I had a song, and I talked about wanting to eat Ariel, and that's it.
Yikes.
I was like,
Again,
I came
creepy.
out and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna serve you up for dinner. Like I don't fucking remember what it was. You know,
I'm sure your mom has it.
yeah, probably
recorded.
Oh, I know one lyric. I remember one lyric because
Let's
it's
hear it.
burned into my brain. Most of my lines are. It's just come on over for a bite. I think that's it. Yeah. So
Yeah.
really creepy, really gross, really disgusting. I didn't like reliving that at all.
I'm glad we could do that for you.
This is why.
Yeah, thanks.
This is why we're here.
I don't like this Throwback Thursday episode of the Arcane Lounge podcast. Can we talk about how cringy you were in high school?
Was I cringy? I was an emo kid.
You weren't even that. You were a hidden emo kid.
Well, because
Yeah.
I was raised by Country Bumpkin number 5.
Honestly, Spencer, you haven't changed much either.
Yeah.
You haven't changed much at all since high school.
I learned not to part my
likes-
hair down the middle, and now people are like, "That's cool, do it."
Yeah, she just likes possums more now.
I
That's the
fucking
biggest
love
difference.
possums.
Yeah. So basically, none of us changed over the course of 10 years, except for me. I went from a creepy eel into a creepy YouTube person.
It's okay. I love you.
Thanks. Oh, I'm glad. So what you been up to, Tyler?
I mean, I don't know, not much. The same thing it's been for the past year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got the table.
Yeah.
And we did get the table.
You got the table.
A new
The
D&D
sexy table.
for us to when we
It's-
finally come back to playing in person.
Yeah, that'll be fun in the summer.
Yeah.
I'm really
Another
excited.
couple
It's so cool. My brother-in-law's dad built it, and it is amazing, and it's kind of custom too, which was really cool. And it has cup holders and dice trays,
Yeah,
and a lot of space and space to store things, and a big DM area.
And it doesn't shake when
it
you
doesn't
put your weight on
shake.
it.
It has
That's
wheels.
I love the backlighting LED lights. that
It
you can
has
change
LEDs.
color.
Oh, it's so damn
And
cool.
the greatest thing about the table is I rolled a d20 in each of the little dice tray boxes that are built in, and my spot rolled the best.
When did you do that?
When you were going, oh my god, look, it's the table, it's so cool, look at this stuff over here. I was secretly like,
nerding out over the table. You were
Even
running
at your
around just
spot.
like,
Yeah.
you were
Do you want to know what yours?
cursing all the spots.
Do you want to know what your spot rolled?
No, I don't care.
It's a 7.
Okay. You're still gonna die probably in the
Probably.
games. Probably.
It's getting pretty close there. Last game.
I mean,
Yeah, a little bit.
ooh. Are we guys talk about that?
I don't know. Should we? Are we going to? Do we want to?
Nah, too much drama.
Too much?
Stuff. Maybe next week. I'm sad.
Well,
In case none of you know what we're referring to the last episode of Even Fall. So if you're not caught up, I'm not going to spoil anything, but maybe
Holy
we might if we
my
decide
gosh.
to talk about it. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
well, I was looking at the questions for this week on the Twitter, and one of them actually fits really well. So,
Oh, good. Very nice.
Yeah, that episode kicked my dick into my heart.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know you had that.
Not anymore. You kicked it into my heart.
I was talking about a heart.
Oh.
Yeah. And that,
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
We got him.
Yeah, D&D's fun time.
just a little bit, once in a while.
Yeah.
We've been playing. I'm sorry, Tyler. I couldn't stop myself. I couldn't at all.
Oh no.
I started playing Baldur's Gate 3 again.
Yeah, I saw it appear on my Steam.
Tyler was like, play a game with me. And I was like, okay, let's play something. And I was like, and we both agreed. We're like, we'll wait for Baldur's Gate 3 until it's done. I couldn't do it. It's too fun. I like it. It's a good time.
Yeah. I'm
And now
playing it
Spencer's into it, and we're both playing it, and I'm just like,
Well, I played it. We played it in November of last year, and I have like a little over an hour in the game, and I'm into it. I got hard eyes for one of the characters.
Well,
you can say who it is.
No,
you're
it's
not
a secret.
telling.
I'm shy. No, it's Asterion. He's hot.
I was gonna roast
Yeah.
you right there. Yeah, our gay vampire king.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Grace changed me.
yeah.
Albino boy with red eyes and white hair. Loving him.
Yeah, that seems like a you.
And he's a vampire. It's like everything I love in one person.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, Baldur's Gate 3 is fun. We play a little bit on the channel for a little bit, like a couple of games, and it was chaos.
Oh yeah, we
was
got
chaos.
to a bunch of
ogres.
Yeah.
Yeah,
got into
just TPK'd. That was a good time. I think it's because I think there's this weird triangle between you, me, and Colton when we play games.
Yeah.
Because I kind of like to do whatever, but I also like to kind of be chaotic, but also at some points in time be serious. I feel like you like to be very adventurous and you like to experience things, but you also want to experience them either not in like the correct way, but in a proper way, you know?
Yes.
So if something doesn't go the right way and we start glitching through shit, it's like, that's not fun. And Tyler doesn't like that. And then Colton likes to be very power gamey, but also, if there's a bug, we have to exploit it now because it's funny.
You have to walk up the mountain.
Yes, exactly. So there's this awful triangle where I can adapt to Tyler and I can also adapt to Colton, but I cannot adapt to both at the same time.
Yeah.
Because I can go
impossible.
Tyler's adventurousness and go do the story and have fun, but then Colton wants to do something fucking weird over here, and then these two just bicker like children, and I'm like, guys.
Yeah.
It's just if you want to go watch us all argue in Baldur's Gate, just go watch that video.
But it's not like we hate each other while we're doing it
No,
either. We
not
just
at all.
bicker.
No, just like, why did we all decide to fight the ogres? And then it's just immediately like, well, you wanted to, well, I wanted to. Yeah. So yeah, good time.
Yeah, I played Sea of Thieves with you guys one time, and I was like, I can't do this.
Sea of Thieves slaps so
can't.
fucking hard.
You guys were like, all right,
You are missing out so much.
You guys talk about was it the Sloot Boys? I think is what you call yourself.
We're the Sloop Boys, and then we were also the Galleon Ghouls. I can't remember. But
Yeah.
Sloop Boys is also fun.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, I can't. The game also makes me feel like seasick, but even though we're
it's a
not
good
on
show.
an actual boat.
Yeah, that's weird. It also makes Tyler's sister seasick.
Yes. I tried to have her play, and she just literally couldn't play more than like
Yeah.
2 minutes of it. It really
And
just
weirdly,
took her
I
out.
get how you would feel seasick. Because
Like-
I played it and I'm like, yeah. But
I-
I'm just so used to it that I just don't care.
I enjoyed like the parts where you're on the island, but the second we were like, oh, we'll get on the boat to go to another island, I was like, oh, I'm just gonna sit under here
Yeah.
in the boat and just not watch the ocean.
You can be the person below decks fixing all the holes
Yeah.
and
that
cooking all
would
the
be
food.
amazing. Yeah.
That's
You
what
could be the
happens.
Craig.
That's what Craig does. Craig just cooks the whole
Baby
time.
boy?
We're like all like, get the rigging, load the cannons, move the wind. That's not what you do. But
Move the wind.
and then eventually we'll see Craig come up and he'll just be like this because you can hold things, but then you can hand people things. So he'll just go like this. He'll come up to you with cooked fish and he'll go, no, but you don't take it. He just goes.
Oh, he can't hand
He doesn't say anything. I'm like, Craig, and he goes, here.
Oh.
And I go, oh, thank you. And he goes, he just walks back down below
Yeah.
deck, and I'm like, all right, what a sweet boy.
Yeah. I too would join the pirate game to only play house. That is
That sounds right.
So do you wanna jump into some questions?
yes.
All right, sounds good. You know how you just said you wanted to jump into questions?
Yeah.
This question is for me and Tyler only.
Shit.
Oh.
So you are welcome to the Interrupting My Wife podcast. What's up?
Now I'm just gonna get interrupted. So.
Oh. I was going to ask you if you wanted to also answer this question, but it's a little bit of like a DM one, but you could offer some insight.
Sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did they say specifically for Tyler and Jacob?
Jacob and Tyler. How? This one comes from Stormo. Jacob and Tyler, how do you design reoccurring villains? What's your process when you create them for making them hateable I think you mean hateable, but also cool and mysterious.
Okay, I forgive you, Stormo, because I see that you just followed me on Twitter, so.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, do you want to answer this one first?
I have never made a villain because I've never made I technically have written a tiny bit of a campaign, but the villain is not reoccurring because I've only written a tiny bit of the campaign. So,
okay.
So no, I have no advice.
But you are still a player and still experience villains. So
yes.
Is there a type of
things
villain?
that I like about villains?
Yeah.
When they die.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your turn.
Good advice.
Yeah.
Good advice,
Yeah.
Spencer.
Like, kill a villain.
I don't know, Tyler. How do you write your villains to keep them mysterious and crazy and super cool and hateable?
Well,
Specifically reoccurring as well.
yeah, I know. So I'm thinking. So like, Adventures of Avenue hasn't had a real reoccurring villain. There is one technically, but you guys haven't really like interacted
He
with them a lot.
occurred,
He
but he has
occurred.
not reoccurred.
No.
He occurred.
But so I don't know if I have a whole lot of insight to that myself because I haven't really done it yet. I have a very mysterious one they are connected to a lot of things, and you guys are figuring out those connections and saying, "Oh, this connects to this connects to this." So what does this all mean? So I'm a lot more of the kind of mysterious side of it, and that's just figuring out how to like insert them into different aspects of the world and how are they messing with this part to mess with the party, or the party's discovering this part, like, oh, this area over here is weird and crazy. What's going on? Oh, it's because this thing is happening because this guy's doing that.
Yeah.
That's what I see. But
That's cool.
That's how I do with that.
That's interesting. That's really cool. I'm sorry. I'm really distracted by the fact that you just started dying laughing. And what was it?
So I was like, I'm gonna go look at Twitter really quick, and I clicked on the notification of Stormo following me, and their Twitter bio is, "I have trapped you in a giant bowl filled to the brim with dunkelberry cake mix. In 30 to 40 minutes, the yeast will rise, and you'll be buried alive."
Okay.
Wow. All right. I guess I can't escape that.
No, there's no
We're
escape.
just cake now.
Cake.
Yeah. I think it's really hard to mess up villains because I think from what I've witnessed a lot from live streams and games that I've played in, not your game though, Tyler, but just from what I've seen and how I felt while writing villains, I think DMs can really get into a complex of having like a DMPC as their villain. They can like them a little too much and want them to be this bad, hateable person, but you eventually will fall into a pit of forcing your players into certain situations that they maybe do not want to be a part of, just to go, oh, the villain is supposed to be bad. And this is to make you hate him and all of that stuff, which I don't like doing at all. I don't like being like, the villain is here and the villain is now here to just ruin your day, and that's the only thing that they're doing. Goodbye, villain. And I've done it in the past. I've done it with I did that a lot with Krieg, and while Krieg was a really cool villain that was successful and all that stuff, I had the problem of being obsessed with him and wanting him to be like to complete things, but that doesn't feel good for anybody except for the DM. So it can be really selfish. So what you should do is you should make a villain that could be defeatable. You should whenever the villain appears, there should be something the players either defeat or learn about the villain. And the learning part can be something they could use to their advantage.
Yes.
So for example, Strahd. Strahd is a really great villain, and he's reoccurring constantly. And if you want Strahd to be really good with your players, you want Strahd to continuously do bad things to hurt the players, but also the players should learn something about him every single time they encounter him. So whether that be the fact that they fight him, like the first time we've talked about it before when Strahd casted that fireball, you guys found out, oh, Strahd can cast fireball. Yeah. It wasn't just like Strahd showed up and went, fuck you, bleh, and just killed one of you and left. Like, that's dumb. Like, that doesn't, you don't learn anything. You just learn our DM's an asshole. Yeah. That's all it is.
One thing I would say, going along with the idea of not making a villain a DMPC, is don't treat them like they're a PC.
Yeah.
Have a bit of a degree of separation between you and that character, because and for example, a lot of the villains I tend to run, I often like only know so much of what they're thinking and how they're going about things, but I don't know everything about them. There's plenty of things that I even don't know as a DM. I'm filling in as things are going, and it's to give it a bit of a degree of separation. So then I don't play them like I'm not personally like super attached to the villain. The villain is there to be a obstacle for the players.
Yeah, definitely. What are you drawing over there?
Little skull.
Little skull? Can you see it?
No, it's not done yet.
Okay. All right. Well, I just want to say that I know that the advice I just gave was insanely hypocritical to the people who watch our streams, because I'm pretty sure that what I just said happened in the last game of Evenfall and in Tomb of Annihilation.
Yeah.
So,
well, at least for the Evenfall portion of that, it was mostly player decision for everything that happened. Most of the things that happened.
Yes.
And Tomb of Annihilation, we had a little bit of a that wasn't cool what you did, and we talked through it, but
yeah, but well, do you want to elaborate on that?
Do you want to get into spoiler territory?
Spoilers for the last 3 episodes of Tomb of Annihilation.
Episode 23 of Tomb of Annihilation.
Sure. Anything before that, maybe not.
Yeah.
In that episode, we had just finished a very large battle with some Yanti. Like, we killed a whole bunch of them. We were very weak, and we went into Rosnice's like little hidey hole is what we called it. And our December, who was traveling with us, ended up killing him. And then, not even 2 minutes later, a Sarek showed up and Power Word killed him. And I was like, that felt really bad.
And then we started the next game with him taking the Ring of Winter and just leaving.
Yeah. I was like, that wasn't cool, but like, I understand why you did it. And then we talked through like how you could continue how I wish the scenario had played out, but that didn't happen.
So it's still a negative to you guys, and it's still like a bad, like the villain, like what I just said, the villain showed up, gave you guys a middle finger, and then left.
Yeah.
But I want to try to say that there's a little bit of a takeaway that you still got from that scenario. The first one being that a Sarek can just show up if he wants.
Yeah.
If he really, really feels like it, he can show up and kill you. That's something that you learn. Mm-hmm. The other thing is that he also wants the Ring of Winter. That's not very helpful, but he just took it.
Yeah, him and everybody else on the planet wants that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I personally I wouldn't have had that play out at all if it was a player character. I think that would have been shitty. That would have been really dumb, and I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have just Power Word killed one of you for doing, for winning, basically. But the secret behind the scenes DM reason I really wanted to do that was I always I told Tyler this when we were playing Sea of Thieves, actually. I always intended for Sarek to get the Ring of Winter. Mm-hmm. I wanted that to happen. To kind of bring all of the goals to a head at the end of the mission. So I didn't want it to feel weird if like you had the ring and you're like, well, we could just leave. Like I wanted it all to kind of come to a point.
Yeah.
And also I wanted the Tomb of Annihilation to just be the main 4 party members. And I found out, and it was kind of a 2 for 2. It was a win. It not only motivated you guys into a point to go get the Ring of Winter from a Sarek, but also it removed Dragonbait and Artisimber from the final dungeon, which is what I really wanted. And so I was like, this works out, so we're going to do it. And that's what happened, and it sucked, and it was a cool part of the story. But also it was really shitty that you guys were like, don't worry, Artisimber, you can do it. And then he's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that sucks.
Yeah.
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 So I guess I'll go back on my statement. If you have 2 really good reasons for your bad guy to show up and shit in your player's dinner, then there you go.
But they shouldn't always do that.
Exactly. Yes, I agree.
The rule is break the rules when it helps.
Yeah.
The rules are there for a reason, but rules are also meant to be broken in the case that it actually helps make the whole thing better.
Exactly.
So.
Totally agree. Mysterious Watts asks, I've played D&D for 3 years and have recently taken up the role of DM for a game of Dragon Heist for some new players. And while they are having a good time, I'm finding it hard to get them interested in getting into character and RPing. They mostly just do whatever first pops into their head without any forethought. Any advice on getting them more interested in that side of the game?
Gosh, that's a hard one.
Yeah, it's rough. If your players are newer, I think that is an appropriate way to play the game. I know that's a really weak answer, which is just to be like, well, just let them play like that. That sucks. I know what you want is to motivate your players into getting more into the game, but sometimes it takes a little bit of time for your players to do that. They aren't going to be playing like the critical role players in game one, and I know that's maybe not your expectations, but I promise you, if you give them more time and you give them more wiggle room and more time to get comfortable and get into the scenarios, they will if you play a different game after Dragon Heist, I bet they'll be more comfortable and more into it. Unfortunately, newer players don't always want to be like gung-ho into the RP of D&D because they're just getting used to it still. So just give them some time and leave that door open, but do not force them. Otherwise, they're not going to enjoy it.
We play a game with a few, like we play with Marshall, who's been on Arcane Arcade before, and my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law who are here, and then our brother-in-law's dad. We play a game with them, and Colton sometimes, when he can make it. And Maddie and Sapin, who are our brother.
That's my sister and my brother-in-law.
Yeah.
They're married.
They're married. They are new to D&D, and we had been playing before the pandemic, and they were starting to kind of get into like the feel of D&D, and now we've come back to the game. They're like starting to kind of come into role playing and like learning, like especially Maddie's like, oh well, I want to go over and talk to this person, and she really gets into it. But I think it just takes time. Like you gotta,
they have gotten more comfortable with it because we've been playing for almost 2 years with them now, and they're just very barely like, oh, this is fun, and it's like so
I would say for a newer player, just try to interact with them through like NPCs and giving them the option to role play, because just expecting them to go up to a fellow party member and have a conversation in character is really hard. So just giving them the option to do.
Well, Tyler, how's I know you sometimes run games for your family. I would consider them newer players. I know your dad maybe played a little bit when he was younger, but how are they when it comes to that?
They are very much kind of similar in terms of that they have a hard time also kind of role playing. The way they tend to role play is rather than like getting like full blown into the characters and into the role play and how you would normally think of it. They are more like describing the action or whatever they're doing. I'm going to go talk to this person or whatever. It's like a half role play, half not.
And I think that's not a wrong way to play.
No, it's not a wrong way to play. I think the if you want to have more role play in the game, I agree. Don't force it, but foster it, encourage it, offer as you said, offer NPCs that they might talk to, or if they happen to have someone who's maybe traveling with them, that's an opportunity. You can also, if you really want to not force it, but encourage it even more, you could play with like the inspiration rules.
Oh yeah,
because you can reward them by
so then they get something out of it.
If they get something out of it, then they're like, oh, I see if I do more of this, I'll get this out of it, rather than just the fun of doing it. And I just it's a subtle way to encourage them to do it more, and over time they'll get more and more
It also
used to it.
feels really good when you start playing, getting an inspiration. I remember like,
Mm-hmm.
all right, well, you get an inspiration for what you did, and it's like, oh, I did something right.
Yeah, basically what you're doing as a DM and as a player as well, you're building foundation for the role play to kind of sit on, because you can't just expect people to just be like, boom, you are going to role play now. And that's why it's really hard for newer players to play with seasoned players, because they have all this foundation of role play, but they have zero expectations, so they don't know what to do, and then they just see people being weird and talking, and they often, in my experience, are often like just intimidated by it and don't do anything through the whole game. And it's like, that's not what you want.
Yeah, that was something that we had to learn when we were playing with Maddie and Saban, was like, we kind of just have to sit back and kind of let them explore if they want to, and if they don't, then it's like, all right, well, this is...
Don't breathe down their shoulder. That's not what you want. You want them to kind of discover it on their own. You have to kind of finesse it a little bit. You have to be careful, and because it's really easy to scare somebody off of D&D. You have one game where one person is kind of being like, rah, 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 and like showing off, and it's like, that'll ruin it forever.
I would even make the claim that we as a group weren't as roleplay heavy as we are now until fairly recently. I would say Sunder, kind of. Like the second season of Sunder.
I would say that it's built every single game afterwards.
Yes.
Like it's like doubled
Agreed.
every single time. So
every
like
time it gets more.
Evenfall, there's more role play than even Sunder, and with Sunder there was more than even Immortals, and even with Immortals, it like keeps going.
Absolutely. So it just takes time. It takes them to continue to have exposure to it, and then as they make new characters and get into those characters, and they'll start building more and more on that.
So basically experience.
Two Gnomes has a question that
really?
they've been asking for, I think 2 weeks now.
Well, please read the question,
They
Spencer.
want to know, is Kardas a DILF?
Well, for Kardas to be a DILF, he does have to be a dad.
He made a very good point in the Discord that the DILFs only sometimes have children. It's just if they have the dad energy.
Okay, so like Jack?
Like Jack?
Jack has dad energy.
Yes.
But he is not a dad.
No, he's not. But could he be a DILF?
Kardas, to me, does not have dad energy. I don't know why some people think he does. It's a funny meme, but to realistically think about it, no.
I don't think he is either.
I agree.
Sorry, Two Gnomes. Kardas comes off to me more as a estranged, misguided uncle. Well, Colton kind of has uncle vibes.
He does. He
Doesn't
is
he?
an uncle. He is.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
But Colton's always had uncle vibes. To me, at least, I don't know what that means or where that comes from, but to me, like, think about all of his characters. Don't all of his characters just feel like the cool uncle? Kyrie's the drunk uncle.
Yeah, and
Even Mallory.
Even Mallory, right? Like a wine aunt.
yeah,
See?
yeah.
That's Colton's vibe.
Right.
Yeah.
So he's an Ulf.
Ulf.
An Ulf.
Ulf.
An Ulf.
He's the Colt uncle this time though.
The Colton uncle?
No, just Colt.
Oh, okay.
That's my head.
Colton, if you're listening to this episode, I am not sorry at all.
Hi.
He would hate this so much, and I take so much joy in that. Yeah. We not only did we say that he has uncle vibes, but we also talked about that Kardas could be a DILF, and we also made a pun with his name. Those are like 3 of his least favorite things. Now we just have to say, think of the taste of In-N-Out sauce in your mouth right now. And Colton has already clicked off the video.
You made the hat trick.
Love you, buddy.
We created an opposite summoning circle.
Yeah.
We want to send Colton away.
A banishment
Circle of salt.
Yeah, but it's a circle of In-N-Out sauce. Oh, good time.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Ever since I'm recovered from COVID, I can't taste the In-N-Out sauce.
Oh, that's really
Yeah,
sad.
it just tastes weird now. And if that doesn't fix itself, I'm gonna have to be in Colton's camp, and I don't want to sit there.
You can sit like adjacent to the camp.
Yeah, it'll come back. I'll make it.
As is tradition with the Arcane Lounge podcast, Fel the Lab asks, what's the most specific / specialized food you have in your fantasy world? Yeah, It's a good question. Mine is pastrami sandwiches on rye. That is a good question, Fel, but I don't think that's like an exotic food. A pastrami sandwich
No.
on rye.
I think we actually have pastrami sandwiches in our world too. I think that's a thing that Solomon made.
No, he made Philly cheesesteaks.
Philly cheesesteaks.
So that, I guess that would be ours. Is our artificer from like 4 campaigns ago created
yeah.
the Philly cheesesteak,
Didn't Jordan make a?
and for some reason it's called a Philly cheesesteak.
Yeah.
It's named after a satyr named Philly.
Yeah.
There you go. Yep, that's it.
Didn't Jordan make a panini press in one of our games?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So paninis also exist.
Peanut butter toast.
Oh,
Peanut butter
God,
sandwich.
I hate you so
Like,
much. I feel like in Evenfall, espresso now exists because of Philip.
Yeah, and the pineapple curacao. That is
Pineapple
yellow and
curacao.
not blue.
Yeah, which is weird because my world also technically has pineapple demons.
It
Yes,
does.
I thought about that when you
So
we
I don't create any of them.
It's us.
You guys do
Yeah.
it, and I'm
Yeah,
like, it's okay now. That's fine. It exists in my world.
one I've created
We had a point in time in Avnia where we took all of our characters and were like, hey, does French onion soup and chocolate exist, Tyler? And he was like,
I guess.
Sure.
well, not French. It wouldn't be French.
It's
but
Avnian
it's
soup.
Avnian
Avnian
onion
onion.
soup.
Everybody in Avnia is fucking French.
They
I
are French,
forgot.
so they
Farron
absolutely
has a French accent. I tried for like 2 weeks before to like come up with.
I want everybody to think of that right now. I want to think of the fact that we're like, oh, hi, I'm Damon. I'm Issa. I'm Kyrie. And I am Philin. And I can smite.
And he's a gun.
Damon, can you teach me how to use this gun? And I go, okay, how about you pull this trigger? The trigger here. Oh, yes. Pew, pew.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm sorry to
That-
all French people, but I'm also not.
Ooh.
I don't know what I have against French people. Nothing at all.
No.
I love French people.
Name one French person.
Mr. French Fry.
You're right. Good job.
Yes.
All right.
Perfect.
Tyler.
Bonsoir.
It's not a food item, but one that I've created for Avnia was the honeyed whiskey.
Ooh. Oh.
From the
Yes.
very
That was in like
early
one of
game.
the very first quests.
It was.
We had to go.
Owlbear.
We had to go.
Spoilers.
We had to. Oh, spoilers for episode 2. We had to go.
Episode 3. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
Actually.
We had to go. Get rid of some owlbears, but we got rid of them. I love that game because we were all like, we gotta save the owlbears, guys. And Kyrie was like, Sing! I will knife the baby. And we were like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy. That was such a dumb game.
Don't you love when your party rogue likes to knife a child?
Yeah.
I never knifed a child.
Have we ever encountered a child in Avnia? No, but we've seen them. They like to
Yes.
play hoop and stick a lot.
Well,
Yes.
you're traveling with a child.
Okay, is Farron a child or is he not,
Technically,
Spencer?
yes.
Spencer, can you please decide? Because we're all like, hey, kid. And you're like, I'm not a kid.
Well, that's Farron. Spencer says he is. He's 17.
Spencer's gone back and forth on this.
Spencer is a crazy person. You know what's funny?
Spencer's an unreliable source.
She is. In Immortals, our rogue never killed a child, but our sorcerer did.
Oh, oof.
Oh.
Sorry,
In the-
Grace.
In like the first game.
In the first game.
We will
it was-
never let Grace live that down.
No.
Poor Grace.
No.
Constantly bring up that Ashkari murdered a child.
It was
Just
a mercy kill.
in cold blood, just exploded a child.
That wasn't what happened.
No.
Blood everywhere.
No.
Death of someone under the age of 18 years old.
And there goes ad revenue.
YouTube
from
just
this
went-
episode.
Just turned it off. No, Grace, it was a hag.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
rebirth.
But I mean,
kid.
technically, it still was a kid, though.
Yeah, but when it
Yes.
turned 13 in like a year, it was gonna.
She,
Was it a girl or a boy? I don't remember.
I don't know.
I
think it was a little
remember
girl.
she,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
that's how I feel.
I don't know why I'm saying it.
It's been like
yeah.
it's been like 4 years, so
Yeah, it's been a fat minute.
I'm pretty sure that child didn't even say anything. She was just T-posing in a corner. And I was
Pretty
like,
much.
that thing's going to turn into a hag. And Grace was like, not on my watch.
Pretty much.
Poor Ashkari.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a game.
It was a good game. Has one of my favorite moments in all of my experience in D&D in it.
If you DM'd for your Comet Vomit asks, if you DM'd for your past self, say you 3 years ago, or if you were a player with your past self as the DM, how would each version of you feel about your experience, and what would your advice be to one another? I gotta say, that is an awesome question.
Awesome question. I have no
If
idea.
I could DM for myself 3 years ago?
Yes.
And you could
In
also
D&D.
play. It goes back and forth. You could DM for yourself 3 years ago, and you could also play in a game from 3 years ago.
With myself from 3 years ago.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Sort of.
Yeah, okay. Hey kid, just don't be nervous. They're your friends. And they don't care when you're role playing. That's all I'd say.
Play more than
Like-
just Rogue.
That's real sweet.
Hey, no, I like Rogue, and Cleric is fun too, but Rogue is better. Yeah, just
3 years ago. So 3 years ago would have been almost the start of Sunder.
yeah.
Ooh, what
Yeah,
advice
it'd be
would I
late-
give myself?
Yeah, late Immortals, early Sunder.
That point in time, I was like, I am the king DM. I am the greatest.
No.
And it was not.
No.
I would say, hey, I would like knock myself down a peg just so that I would have lower expectations to try to make something fun for everybody, which sounds mean, but it would be good for me because back then I was too cocky. So I would go back and be like, hey, your games are not that great. And you kind of have to work hard to make them good. And not in the sense that you think they're good, in the sense that your players have fun playing them. So making an epic story is not what is fun about your games. What's fun about your games is that you get to sit around the table and your friends get to play with one another. You are a small part of that. And you make it happen, but you're not the reason why it's fun. That's what and myself would probably be like, damn! Oh! And then it would be good for me. And then I'd basically be a super god DM by the time I'm here. And then another future me from 3 years would come back and punch me in the head and say the same thing. And it would be on this vicious cycle every 3 years. Is that what Chris Perkins did with himself and Matt Mercer?
Maybe. Time travel. We're on to you, Mercer.
Yeah. I'm trying to think for myself because
Sorry, Spotify listeners.
Say sorry to me. Yuck.
Well, think about the same time for you. We were just
Yeah, I
finishing
know.
up Immortals. We were about to go into Sunder around then. Let's say you Tyler now played in a game that past Tyler DM'd. What would your advice be to yourself?
DM'd. I wasn't DMing at that time. That's the funny part.
I mean,
Well, you could. They also said you're playing in a game with your
Yeah,
past self.
that's what I'm thinking of. It's
Yeah, that's the one I
okay.
was
So,
doing. Yeah.
there you go. Yeah, you
Yeah.
played a game with your past self as well. Yeah. I would tell myself to stop killing things constantly.
Stop being a murder hobo, Jacob.
You're just a goddamn murder hobo, and you need to cut it out. I'll be like, okay.
Yeah, I feel like it'd probably be something a little bit similar to Spencer's of kind of branch out a little bit more, which I ended up doing anyways. Which don't play the same kind of character every time. Really think about who they are and try and have a little more diversity, I guess.
That was something you actually did, which was cool. And this isn't like to call you out or anything, but when you were going to join Sunder, I remember you made a character, and the character was very similar to Thenhala. And I was like, this character is similar to Thenhala. And you were like, Then you made Atlantica, and I was like, oh, this is sick. And you really branched out and made something different. And I don't know, I think you had fun. But that was cool. And I think you've definitely learned how to do that now because your characters are all very different at this point in time. So that's
Oh, thank you.
There you go. Good job.
I mean, that's the advice I would probably give. Is I was playing pretty much the same character. They were different, but they weren't.
Honestly,
different
I'm having that complex. Damon is the character I've made who's different. Every other one of my characters is like, all right, what flavor of Jace is this? Yeah. Cool. Thank you for that question. That was a really good question, Comet Vomit. Do we want to do the genre jar?
Sure.
The incredibly full genre.
If it's that time, let's do it.
All right, Tyler, you pick when I pick one.
I want you to go deep down. Go
Deep,
all the way
deep.
down
Okay,
to
hang
the bottom.
Okay, I'm at the very, very bottom.
Okay, and then grab the 1 centimeter to your left.
Okay, got it.
Cool.
Got it.
Right.
That's the perfect one. It's the perfect one.
Oh, glad I got that one out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
stuck down
I'm
there.
surprised that you didn't lose it midway through.
Yeah, basically. Okay, so this one says,
What is it?
I told you it's the perfect one. It's the best one.
oh man,
What is it? Can I see?
really is the perfect one.
Oh,
Favorite or maybe top 5 theme park rides.
well, we have Dr. Disney here, so
I told you it's the perfect one.
yeah.
In case you guys don't know, Spencer and I, this is how I explained it to Craig the other day. Spencer and I are maybe level 5 Disney adults. Sorry, we're really cringe.
Yeah.
And we really like Disney stuff. Not like abhorrently, we're like level 5. So really like Disneyland, been there a lot. Have good memories there. I proposed to at Disneyland.
Yeah.
It's our happy place. It's very nice.
Yes.
Tyler is level 30 Disney adult.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there.
Somewhere.
Tyler, if you go to Disneyland with Tyler, it is you basically get a tour guide.
Yes.
You could look at Tyler in Disneyland and say, how many people died in Disneyland? And Tyler will go, okay, well, I think maybe 18. So there was one over here. And I'll be like, how do you know this off the top of your head? So that's why I just went, oh my Lord, this is the question that we got with Tyler, which is really fun.
We actually went to Disneyland with Tyler, I don't know, like a few weeks before the park closed.
A week.
Because of the
It
pandemic.
was
a
a
week before the pandemic.
It was the
Yeah.
week before.
Yeah.
Which was really
and
funny.
I remember just being in like a line and Tyler was like, okay, here's this question. If you can answer it. And we were all both like, I don't know. And Tyler was like, well, it's this, this, and this. And we're like, okay, next line. Here's another question. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm a big.
It's fun though because
Yeah.
the line's are long and you need something to do.
Yeah, it's, I'm one of those like apps you get on your phone for like
Yeah.
trivia, but I am the app.
Yeah. So yeah, what's your top 5 theme park rides? It says theme park rides, so you can pick not Disneyland, but honestly, I'm not going to because the Harry Potter ride is the only one that I would consider, but it didn't wow me. So I'm like,
The Mummy one is cool though.
the Mummy one was cool, but it's still not on the same level.
It's fun, but it's,
Yeah.
I'm also not like a big Magic Mountain nerd. I went there like twice when I was younger, and I was like, this kind of sucks. Like we I feel like I went there recently. By recently, I mean like within the past 5 years, and
Magic
it was
Mountain?
yeah.
I know that
it was
the
okay.
high school that we went to takes the seniors there,
Maybe that was when.
or
we
maybe
went.
it's just the whole school and I went when I was
Did we
a
go?
senior.
Did I
don't
go with
know.
you, Tyler? I don't think so.
I think that.
I know I went with
It's
friends.
not the senior
I know
trip.
I went. Yes, it's not grad night because grad night.
Maybe we did go together. I mean, the rides are fun, but it's nothing like. Yeah, it's just not the same.
Yeah.
It's like we always say it. It's like it's not an experience. It's just like you go there, go on rides, and hang out and have fun.
Yeah.
You know, it's fun. It's cool. If that's your fun, then that's your fun. That's cool. But to me, Disneyland is like stepping into another dimension.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, you get
Absolutely.
transported somewhere else where
Absolutely.
there's only happiness and a lot of walking and your feet hurt
Yeah.
and a lot of kids and
And a lot of food.
a lot of food.
Spend too
It's
much
the only
money.
place where you can like gain weight while also doing so much cardio
Yeah.
and really long lines. But other than that, you know,
After all these terrible things.
all these really bad things. I'm just trying to preface that I know why people don't like Disneyland.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm
get it.
saying that I still like it.
Like Marshall doesn't like Disneyland, and we're
But
just like,
just because Marshall thinks it's overpriced. And to be honest, it isn't. It is, but it isn't as much as people think it is. A bottle of water is not $20.
No.
That's like $7.
Maybe.
It is.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay, it's still really expensive.
Bottle of Coke
no,
is
I
like
think-
$5.50.
I was gonna say I think it's like $5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like 5, somewhere around there.
It's a lot of that. Anyway, top
Anyways,
5.
yeah. Oh, so yeah, what's your favorite rides? I would have to say that Space Mountain is up there.
Space Mountain's up there for me as well.
Tyler and I can both listen to the soundtrack to Space Mountain and immediately dopamine fills my brain.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just listen to it and I'm like, oh.
For years, I would say, and I still feel it for the most part when I go. Whenever I come off of that ride, I feel like I have like a full-blown like high. Because of the dopamine
Space
rush.
Mountain high.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
It's just, I don't know why. It's just that ride just really just like, I feel like, just crazy.
Good afterwards. Yeah.
Really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a crazy ride. It's not like super crazy.
It's thrilling. It's fun. It's cool. But I think it's the combination of everything because apparently
Yes.
that ride feels like it goes so fast. It only hits 33 miles an hour.
Yep. It's like I think it's like top speed is 35.
Yeah, but it feels real fast because it's in the dark. But also like the mixture of the music and the atmosphere, and when you go in there and all that stuff, it's good. It's fun.
I also feel like the way they do the stars, the disco ball lights,
Yeah.
along with the dark helps to kind of like disorient you a little bit. So
Yeah.
you can't tell, but at the same time, it like messes with your brain chemistry a little
Well,
bit.
do they do the same thing that they do with like Peter Pan, where they have like the stars on like strings? So it looks like certain ones are closer than other ones. So in case you don't know, on like the Peter Pan ride, you like float over like the city and stuff. But what they do to like make the stars look like they're not just on a flat wall is they make like these panels that have like strings on them, and the strings come out and they have lights. So the lights move as you go past them, and you can see the depth in them, and it looks really cool.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if they did that on
I
Space
don't
Mountain
think
or
that
not.
they do that in Space Mountain, but it has that same similar effect because they're bouncing lights off of literal disco balls. You can see it at one point in it. They're bouncing it around onto the superstructure of the coaster itself. And that's giving the...
So
that's
and
giving
in
the
a
effect.
different direction, so you just don't know.
Exactly.
You know. It also the track too, because you're constantly doing right turns, and then towards the end you do a left turn, and it's like, oh, you didn't catch that, even though it's, you can't see it coming and all that. So
Yep.
it's a good one. What about you? What's your favorite ride?
The new Rise of Resistance.
I was gonna say that too.
really good.
Rise of Resistance is really
on my
great.
list.
Oh, you haven't gone on it yet?
No, I went with you guys.
Oh yeah, did you? You went on it with us, right?
Yeah,
The first time we ever went on it
you
was
guys
with
went on
Tyler.
it was with me.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, and then later, like
We went with my parents.
Yes.
I always think it's opposite. I always think we went with Tyler last. We went with my parents last.
yeah, we went like 2 days after we went with Tyler with your parents.
That's right.
And then the park closed.
And then the
like,
park closed
a
like a
few
couple days later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my little brother got lost on the ride, and that's
Yes.
really funny, but also it was really scary and really sad. And it was
He still got to go on the ride. He just went on with a different family.
yeah. We were so entranced. I won't spoil it for anybody that hasn't been on it.
So was he though. That's
Yes.
why he didn't.
So we were
notice.
all just so entranced by the ride because it does such a good job at immersing you
Yeah.
into the. And I don't want to explain it. I really want to, but I can't because
queue,
I would rather you just
specifically.
experience it whenever Disneyland opens again.
Yeah.
But when you go on, you go from like waiting in a line to being on the ride, and it's like a seamless transition. So me, my mom, my dad, and my two sisters. No, Maddie wasn't there, and Emma were so just mesmerized by the ride. We literally walked on, sat down. We're like, oh, weird, we have an extra seat. Wait, and we were like, where's Isaiah? He's not here. And they like had to, it sucked. We kind of had to stop the ride. They didn't stop the whole thing, but they had to like wait because it's kind of like a performance almost. And we were like, we can't find him.
Yeah, they
and
found
then
him on
They
the
went and
camera.
found him. He just went on with like a different group. We didn't know what happened to him. He just got separated. And because there's like doors and things, he wasn't with us. So we were like, okay, well, he'll make it out at the end. So
Yeah.
we went through the whole ride. We had fun. We got off and we waited a little bit. And we saw him come off. And we're like, hey, where were you? And he walked forward and he was like, It was really sad, but it was
had
really
fun,
funny.
though.
Yeah. But it was just really weird that we were like, whoa, Star Wars. Hey, where's that kid that we need?
Yeah. Yeah, I think the queue for that ride is incredible. And the technology that they use in it is incredible.
Yeah, definitely.
I would say another attraction that I really like, it's always a go-to for me, is Haunted Mansion.
Yes. This Haunted Mansion is very nice.
Yes.
It's very nice.
That ride is like, it's like Pirates of the Caribbean to me. It's like, it's like relaxing, even though it's like, it's scary, but like, to me, it's like, it's the part where like we stop walking and we're like, like, it's like, it's nice,
Yeah. Absolutely.
I prefer Haunted Mansion over the holiday time version of the ride.
Me too.
But we've always gone during like October time when they're starting to transition to the holiday
Nightmare
version.
Before Christmas,
Yeah, the Nightmare Before Christmas. And I honestly don't like that movie very much. So it's kind of just like, this is fun.
I also feel like I don't know why, but whenever they revamp it, to me, it feels real cheap. And I think the biggest thing is like when you go into the big room and it's like, is this room actually stretching? And then when the ceiling appears and you see like the dude hanging up there, instead it's just a projected image of Jack Skellington and he's just like, Merry Christmas. And you're like, oh. And it takes away like kind of the illusion and it's just like, this is just a wall. Okay. So yeah, I just feel like it's kind of cheap and they just kind of throw Christmas stuff in there and it's like, the original is just way cooler.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of cool effects and it's really interesting and it's spooky to walk through. And
I like both. So
Yeah.
well, you know what, Tyler? That's fine.
exactly.
Tower of Terror / the Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout. It's a great ride.
Tower of Terror, unfortunately, is better.
Yeah. Like,
But
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Well, it's in Florida.
Yeah, but that's on the other coast. So.
Yeah, that's true.
Incredicoaster. Another one that's changed, but it's still cool.
Incredicoaster's fine. California Screamin' Sorry was better.
Oh, okay.
I like The Incredibles a lot, but it's like Space Mountain to me. The music was so sick on the original California Screamin'.
I think
actually, that wasn't even the original music.
Oh,
that you know of, probably.
Dr. Disney.
Okay, fucking Mr. PhD.
The one that you are thinking about, I'm pretty sure, is the better one though. The original was not. It was kind of just dumb.
I'm talking about it's like the rock music one, you know?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think so.
It's the one I don't know. It's the one they used when I was a kid. So.
You know what's a ride I hated when I was a kid?
What?
It's not even a ride. It's the Winnie the Pooh like thing where you go in and you're in the theater seats and the seats move. You know what I'm talking about?
No, you mean, I think Bugs Life? What? Bugs Life?
Is it Bugs Life? It's Bugs Life. It's not Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, that's gone.
I know. It's gone. Thank God.
Yeah,
all of the Bugs
I
Life
agree. It was
gone.
weird. They would always like put farts in your face.
Yeah.
And they would stab you in the back.
Yeah.
I'd be like, the fuck? I'm being assaulted.
That's
I'm at Disneyland and I'm being assaulted.
That's one of the things that I remember the most, like the first time I went there, was going into that like little theater and just being so scared.
Yeah,
Yeah,
spooky.
It's very actually. Oh God, I was going to come up. I was going to say another little Disney trivia here.
Oh yeah, well, go for it. This is your time to shine.
That show originally came out in Orlando, actually, and it came out before the original movie came out.
What?
But by like a month or so. So it's technically older.
It's done. Open it up.
So it was like a preview. It was like a marketing thing for the movie.
Kind of, yes. And then they brought it over
they just put it in California
later on. Yeah.
No wonder.
Is there what's there now?
Adventures Campus.
Adventures Campus.
Right.
They reused the building for the
which
Spider-Man
is
attraction.
apparently supposed to have a fully working goddamn Spider-Man.
Oh.
Is what I've heard.
Yeah,
They have like an animatronic Spider-Man that can jump through the air.
Yes.
That's cool.
I don't know if I haven't seen it, but that's what I've heard.
I've seen their test demos of it. It's on YouTube. You can look it up on YouTube.
Goddamn cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so hyped for that.
Yeah. They're trying to open in April, but if we're not vaccinated, not worth.
But I also really like Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. I've liked that one since I was a child.
Yeah.
And
You mentioned pirates.
yeah, I really like Pirates of the Caribbean.
That ride breaks a lot.
It does, but it's one of the longest rides.
Yeah, that's actually
Meaning
the ride.
you can sit for a while.
That's actually the ride we got on right after we got engaged. We got on Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah. Good time.
Didn't break that time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good job.
Have we ever talked about how we got engaged on the podcast?
No,
you guys have not.
Okay, well, I'll do the quick version. We're going to Disneyland. We go every year on our anniversary. Our dating anniversary is October 25th,
Yes.
which is also Tyler's birthday.
Yeah.
We got married on October 24th. So that we wanted the same day, but also not Tyler's birthday.
Yes.
Which is really weird that we have you on the podcast. It's fun. It all connects.
Yep, it all
So
it's a whole conspiracy.
So every year after we started dating, we went to Disneyland in October, and it was a fun tradition. So one year, I was like, I'm gonna propose because it's been like 7 years and I need to do this already.
5.
Okay. So we went in and I didn't have a ring because I wanted you to pick out your ring.
Yeah.
Because
which is good because I'm the pickiest fucking person.
Yeah, I didn't want to buy something for you that you didn't want, and I would rather you pick it out anyways. But I had a box.
Yeah.
So that's all I cared about was a box. I just wanted to have it and kneel and do
Yeah,
the
and
whole
it was the one your dad used to propose to your mom, right?
Yeah. So that was fun, and so I had it, and on our second day, I was like, all right, we'll go in front of the castle and we'll do it there. And that's where I wanted to do it. So we started we go through the metal detector area, and I go off, and I was like, oh crap, because I have the box in my pocket. And the guy comes over and he's like, all right, and he takes the little metal thing, and goes up my body, and it keeps beeping by my leg, and I'm like, son of a bitch, and you're literally 5 feet away.
Yeah.
And I literally looked to the dude, and he was like, I think you have something in your pocket, because he can't just reach in there and take it. And I literally pull him down and I go, it's a ring I'm proposing to my fiance and or to my girlfriend. And he was like, all right, you're good to go. And he just let me go. And I was like, dude, I love Disneyland employees so much. They're so cool. And I was like, thank you. And you were like, what was that? And I was like, I don't know.
No, you said it was my belt. I was like, okay, it didn't happen yesterday.
I literally thought I was going to turn around. She was going to be like, what was in your pocket? And I was going to be like, nothing. But you freaking fell for it.
Yeah.
So anyways,
this is one of the few times where you're like, you got away with something and I didn't know.
Yeah, it was crazy. Rarely happens.
Every fucking person that I've ever met knew that you were going to propose to me. I came back to work and my coworkers were like, so you got engaged this weekend? And I was like, huh? How do you know?
My mom is a loudmouth.
Yeah, your mom told my coworkers while I was gone.
Yeah. So then we go in and I kept saying I want to take a picture at the castle. I want to take a picture at the castle. And you're like, and I was like, we're going to go right now. I want to take one. This is something I want to do. And you were mad. You were grumpy at me. You're like, okay, fine. But then I want to go over here because I don't know what was going on. We were going to miss out on something. And I was like, okay, well, this is kind of important. And I take you over there and I was like, oh, I don't want to take a picture. I want somebody else to. And at this time, I'm not shitting you, audience and Tyler, who's heard this story 20 times. She looked at me and she was like, no. And she was like angry. I'm not like grumpy, like I'm a little upset. She was like, Jacob, no, I don't want to do this.
I didn't want to bother people.
And I was like, stop. And I took my phone and I went to somebody. I was like, can you take a picture of us, please? And he went, sure. And I turned around and you were like, and I was like, hang on. And you were like, hurry. Can you hurry? Can you? And I turned around and I proposed to you and you were like,
okay.
Yeah. I don't really remember your reaction, but you were like,
yeah. It was good.
Yeah, it was good. The guy took a picture and then it was cute. And then, you know, you said no. And then we,
thank you.
Yeah. And then you just broke out.
Try again tomorrow.
No, you said yes.
I did.
And then I kissed you and I hugged you and the guy took a bunch of pictures and then everybody around us clapped, which scared the shit out of me. I was like, oh fuck, there's people here. And they were like, hey. lady, and I was like,
It's funny because like I remember people clapping, but then we went back to look at the pictures, and there's this lady in one of them, and she just has like the most disgusted
she's a
face.
side-eye
She's
face.
just
I'm
like,
really at Disneyland? What a fucking loser.
she's like pushing a baby in like a stroller. It's
Yeah, literally. Yeah. And then when I posted the pictures on like Facebook, Jordan commented that she's like that lady with the side eye. And I was like, yeah, I don't know what her problem was. Like, this is a moment for us. And she decided to be in the picture. She's like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make this face. So, yeah, it was good. And then we went on Pirates of the Caribbean. And it was a good time.
Yeah.
So,
And then we got on Pirates.
yeah,
You're on Pirates.
that was fun.
That was a long tangent to talk about how you guys were on Pirates.
Yeah.
Don't care about the
Disneyland.
wedding, whatever. Engage on
Yeah.
whatever.
No.
Remember when we said that Tyler is like the Disney adult, and then we talked more about Disneyland than he did?
Yeah.
we do
That's
go-
just what
we-
happened. That's what happened.
we
right
do
now.
go-
You guys
a
aren't
little
level
too
5
much.
Disney. You guys are more than that, but you're not.
We
I am
know,
the
don't
trivia
ask us
history
like
guy.
that.
I'm the
Yeah.
Disney trivia history guy. So
Yeah. We have Disneyland wisdom. You have Disneyland intelligence.
and a little bit of wisdom.
We have the
but more
Disneyland street
intelligence.
smarts.
street smarts. Yeah, we know how to get around normally. Sometimes I'm like, where's that ride? I don't know where that ride is. And you're like, I know where it is. It's over
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
During grad night, Jacob and I were like leading the group, our friend group, the
Yeah.
entire time because we knew
Yeah.
like the best routes to get to places.
Yeah, for real, because we had been there the most, and grad night was a goddamn mess.
Yeah.
But it was fun. It was a fun mess. But it was wow. It was
Yeah.
It was,
I remember just getting really mad at grad night. But it's because I was sleepy. I needed a nap.
Tyler, did you answer your favorite ride?
I tossed them out.
The review.
Reviewing
I don't think we've ever done a complete 5.
No, we just kind of
No.
talked about
We're just like,
favorites.
nah,
Well,
you do too a little bit. Oh, and Peter Pan. That's my favorite ride.
yeah, yeah.
Not because it's a good ride. It's just I have nostalgia.
I have a suggestion for you. That's just a little bit of an interesting little thing. Go on Peter Pan. Not too long before the park closes, because they don't kick you out of lines, and it'll be a fairly long line. So then, when you are leaving the
And that
park,
line's always fucking long.
yeah.
That's a
And
good
so
idea.
when you're leaving, the park is already closed technically. So it's a very quiet, strange version of the park where there's not many people around at all.
Disneyland during like nighttime is great. It's like,
I thought Tyler was about to say, like, I knew he wasn't going to, but I thought he was going to be like, so next time when you go on Peter Pan, before you go on it, smoke a fat blunt.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
get on.
Yeah, no, that too.
It's
That-
crazy.
no, do that before Space Mountain.
or It's a Small World.
Just on Space Mountain, like, whoa.
It's a Small World while you're high.
No, that's terrifying. What the hell? I would think I'm stuck in another, like,
you are.
small world dimension.
You
No,
are.
I'd be in another dimension.
A smaller
The
world.
smaller world dimension. And I would be, there would be no
The
escape.
dolls are like melting.
I would be jumping
that's
off the
no.
little
stupid.
boat, like, let me out. I'm like, if you stay on the boat, Jacob, you can get out. All you took was weed. Why are you crazy?
Yeah.
All right, we want to do one more question. I'm trying to pick like a good one because there's a lot. We just get so many questions on this podcast, guys.
We're still popular.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
This one's rolls as a DM. Stall.
Disney.
Disney. I love Disneyland, and
Yes.
I really want to go back there now that I am able to drink in the park, because last time we went I was not able to.
Oh, they serve more alcohol at Disneyland now, and it's great. Well, more in DCA.
Yeah,
DCA.
when you can go into the cantina. We went into the cantina like last time we were there, and I was only 20, but now I'm 21. I am nearly 22 years old, and I want to drink at Disneyland. I'm an adult. Give me the beer. No, I like beer.
Well, hopefully in a
I was
couple
gonna say,
of-
you want beer?
No, I just want to be able to go like, can I have a little bit of yours?
So Marion asks, what are your thoughts and attitudes towards PC death, both as DMs and players? Do you get caught up in it? Does it linger in your mind afterwards? Do you find it easy to move on?
And maybe the last 10 minutes of the podcast are spoiler territory.
Yeah, I think at this
is the
point
question
on,
I
if you are not
mentioned
caught up
earlier.
with Tomb or Evenfall or any of our games, really, we're going to be spoiling stuff.
Yeah, so-
Maybe
Spoilers.
click
This
off
is
now. We
spoiler
love
section.
you. Leave.
Okay, yeah. How do you handle? What do you guys think about death in D&D?
I think if it's like for the story or done right, it's normally good. But just getting killed by stuff, like there was like Tesseract, that made me really upset. And just like if you die randomly, that kind of feels bad. But I feel like death is a big part of the story and it's fun.
I think there's kind of like 3 camps. I hate to say camps, but I think they're like, from what I've seen, like there's like 3 major camps. There's like the hardcore kind of, I don't really care. Death is a thing. If I die, then I die. There's the middle of, and as DMs too, it's like death is death. Who cares? There's the middle, which is like, well, I don't really want to die, but if I do, then it happens and whatever. I'm going to be upset by it maybe.
That's where I said, I think.
Yeah. And then there's the other side, which is, and I see a lot of people on this one where it's like, we kind of just don't do death in our campaigns. Like if players die, they only die if they want to die. Like, and I get wanting to play like that. You know, that some people are like, oh, well, if you die, sometimes I just impose an injury, or even I just bring you back anyways through a creative way, and there's a thing that happens. And, you know, all are fine.
Yeah, also a part of the game.
Yeah.
But I think there's a way that we run our games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
we have different views on it.
Yeah, I think we tend to sit more in the middle part where we aren't like character depths. I think are important to me to stories, but not something I would try to force unless the player wants it. So, like in combats, as a DM at least, I never try to kill you guys. I'm not intentionally trying to kill you guys. But I am trying to challenge you. And part of that is having the threat of death in the fights.
I completely agree with you. To me, it is less about killing the characters and more that the threat of death is there.
Yes.
Because if you died and then you came to me and expressed how upset you were that you died and wanted to come back, I would be like, all right, let's work it out.
Yeah.
I think so too. I agree.
Yeah. But I like the idea of death being there. You know, it's a motivator. It's and I know a lot of people are gonna say or are gonna think the idea, and I've seen people make this argument of like, you don't need to motivate your players with, oh, you can no longer play your character anymore. That can be weak for some people, and for some people, yes. But in my experience, how do I say this lately? You guys are assholes.
Yeah.
And sometimes if you feel invincible, it will go to your head. Is that like the proper way to say it?
I feel like you're specifically targeting one of my characters, but yes.
A little bit. Well, most of you, but yeah. So sometimes being able to go, well, you can die still is like, this grounds me. Now I am going to think about my actions.
I think
I have a thought. I say character death is less about the character, less about giving importance to the character death to the person who actually died, and more to the rest of the party.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Because like, spoiler territory, we're in it right now. The last game of Evenfall, Philip got taken over by Gratz and murdered Stibbles, Logan's character, and Philip is Spence's character. And so Stibbles is dead and Philip is gone, and now the rest of us as a party now has to
deal with that.
Deal with the ramifications. How is that affecting our characters? And it's affecting some of our characters heavily. I know my characters absolutely changed because of it, and it's it gives more weight to things, to decisions, to
well,
the
it was
story.
the same thing with Core. Because after Core died, the game's tone shifted.
Yes.
And not like me. I didn't really change anything. But you guys definitely, I could sense that there is a major difference. I feel like you guys were a lot more gung-ho and confident about what you were doing. After Core died, it became a lot more, you guys are much more hesitant. You think about everything. It's like, Like the entirety of the Elfrune Academy quest was interesting because there wasn't any real threats. I couldn't even really fathom a way that you guys would die during that quest, which is what I wanted to do. I want to do a quest with you guys where like you weren't in just immediate danger where you would die, and I would just want to see how you guys would handle it. And you guys handled it like, oh, we might die, and I was like, dang, Core's death really kind of ruptured the party, and the idea of like, we just hit a zombie wrong and roll 3 death saves and die, which is like, it's really scary. So,
and by the way, for those who don't know, Core was Colton's character.
Yes, Colton's
original
character.
So,
who got in a boss fight. I feel so
like
I agree with you there, Tyler. It's more the death is never really about the character. It isn't in that small moment where they do die, but the more interesting part, at least to me, is how the rest of the party and everybody else reacts to it. Like that's the drama in the story that can make it really interesting and affect and change, and your characters and what their story and how they feel as they go along.
Absolutely, it's something that the characters now have to face and deal with the ramifications of it and how reflect on it. It's a tragic, horrific thing that they had to go through. How does that affect them as a party? How are the relationships within the party going to change now that one person is not only gone, but gone in such a way that was extreme and tragic?
Yeah,
there's a lot of interesting things that you could play with it.
Yeah. I think one of the best pieces of dialogue in any of our games was when Jeremy was talking to Baron, which is Tyler's game, An Adventure of Avnia, and that's Jack's character talking to Craig's character, and Craig, as his character, was talking about how, what did he call it? He called it the dash, in which, you have on gravestones, because his character is like, he works in like a cemetery. It's like, I see a lot of people who, they have the birth date and the end date, and there's always a dash in the middle. And that's the part that really matters, between who this person was and who you were to them in that dash. And that's what we should do with gravestones, is remember that, not the beginning and the end, but that middle part. And I was just like, God damn it, Craig. Are you Jesus?
That was a beautiful moment. And
really cool. And so and that is infinitely more interesting than just being like, Matt, you're dead. And now we're just going to keep moving on. Like that conversation is just really cool. And, Yeah,
absolutely.
Have you ever had a time where a character died where you were just like, this fucking sucks and I hate it?
Abris.
Well, I think part of that wasn't that part of a TPK though, right?
Yes.
Which
the worst part was we didn't get death saves, which I was bitter about, and Logan may have played a few things incorrectly, and I was bitter about. And then we got over it. We brought our characters back, and then unfortunately Tesseract ended, and we never completed the story.
And for some reason, I'm bitter about this too. Sorry, we're just bitter asshole people. The comments on that episode are like, wow, Abris, you did a shit job healing. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Did you not watch the rest of the game? We were a little distracted by the fact that our friend was like lobotomized.
Yeah, I don't really care what people think about how I play my character.
Me neither. I'm super cool. And
super
I never
cool.
think about that kind of stuff. It
Yeah.
definitely never gets to my head, and I don't stay up and I'm thinking about it.
Nah.
No, not at all.
You're not there. Shut up.
No, you're right.
Yeah, you taught me like, hey, when we're doing this, people are gonna comment stuff. Like even on the podcast, people will comment something and be like, that was fucking stupid. Why'd you say that? I like the other podcast more. And I'm like, I couldn't care any less than I do about what you think about the podcast or my characters. If you like them, that's fun though.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Call out to all of theorists on our Discord.
Oh, you guys are cool. Sometimes you're wrong, and I like making fun of you.
Yeah.
Not to be mean, but I like messing with you. It's more what I mean. I don't make fun of you. I just like to be like, little thing, and nothing else. A little bit of theory as a treat.
Elizabeth has a tree.
But you guys did get me through COVID. I would lay in bed all day and be like, oh, that's fun. I'm glad you guys enjoy the character.
Yeah, same with me.
Everybody on that Discord's fun.
Yeah.
You guys make a
are
lot
cool.
of good memes,
Yeah.
and it's a good time. So we appreciate all of you guys, even though sometimes we roast the shit out of you.
We do meme on you a little bit.
Yeah,
bit,
but
yeah, a
to be
little
fair, you guys meme
You
on
guys-
us, so it's
Yeah.
a two-way street.
Yeah, exactly.
And if I don't meme on you, you're too smart. You're going to get everything in like the first 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
They're already like, so we found this thing that you said 7 months ago on the Discord. And here's what Grace said in episode 11 of season 4 of Sunder about Phelan. I'm like, jeez.
I know.
That's
Do
what
you,
you asked me
do you
last
guys
night.
It was
fucking
deep.
sleep?
Yeah, when Artemis asked that question about Sunder
yeah.
and Abadir, and you just messaged me like, "Hey, how long was Locke banished?" And
There-
I was literally like, "I don't fucking remember."
Everyone on the
This is
Discord.
such a specific question from like years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have all that shit memorized.
They're asking the real questions.
I mean,
Like,
some of it I
Fair.
do. Some shit I'm just like, I know that
Yeah.
immediately off the top of my head. But sometimes when it's like, hey, remember this obscure thing you said 2 years ago?
Yeah.
No.
No.
I don't remember that. People are clipping stuff from those games now, and they're really funny.
Yeah.
Like, did you see the one where it was like, I just want to keep you guys at a lower level because I don't want you to walk in to find Olivier's mom, bust down the door, and be like, boom, you're dead.
and that's exactly
And that's
what happened.
exactly what happened. I literally
And-
said that. Like, I just don't want Olivier's mom to die in 1 second. And
It
you
was-
guys
it was-
busted down the door and
It was
killed her
12. It was 12 seconds.
12 seconds.
12 seconds.
Yeah.
Because that's because, if I remember correctly, Olivier had a Vorpal sword.
Yep.
Crit on the Vorpal sword. Jacob decided I'm gonna give be a boss thing and just give more hit points and not have the instant decapitation rule for that one. And then she critted again on the next turn.
And I was just like,
ported it.
fuck it,
You
she's
ported
dead.
it. Oh,
like,
there you go.
Yeah.
that's, the universe is telling me right now, like, no, one hit kill. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay,
Okay.
I'll throw away the stat block I wrote.
But I feel like that is. I feel like that fit really well with the story, though. It was a
Yeah.
clean thing and made us feel, as players, felt really kind of cool there. So,
For real. Make your players feel awesome. That's the point of D&D.
yeah.
Make them feel real cool.
Have all of you guys feel awesome. Because I also feel like the DM is a player themselves, but in a different sense.
Yeah.
I have a lot of questions that I've gathered through playing Evenfall and can no longer ask them.
Yeah.
And there were 3 that I gathered in just the last episode and did not have time to ask them. So,
Rip.
can I come back for just like 20 minutes and ask these questions?
What questions?
I can ask you later.
Wait, are they in character?
They're in character.
Oh, no.
Shit. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go play Baldur's Gate 3, I think. Oh,
Oh, he gone. So it's just you and me now. We're in charge of Arcane Arcade.
I can get on his computer and look up like all of his DM notes.
Do it. Do it.
Hang on, wait.